recording the meeting, so everyone is notified that we started recording. Mr. Nikolaidis, first of all, I would like to thank you for this initiative to talk to the Russian-speaking community of Limassol. I'm sure that people will have many questions, but I suggest that we start with a kind of introduction, so you will tell us what's happening to Limassol, what municipality does in these difficult times.
Good morning, everybody. My dear friend, Mrs. Kardash, first of all, I would like to thank you very much for co-organizing this teleconference. And I would like to welcome everybody, our Russian-speaking friends, once again to the municipality to have this discussion between us. On behalf of the municipality, besides me, we have, like I said before, Mr. Michalis Sokratus, who is the leader of the AGEL group. We have Mr. Ilias Ioachim, who is the leader of the Green political group of the council. Like I said before, we have Anita Evgeniou, who is our media representative, and we also have Mrs. Irini Dimitriou, who is on behalf of the communication team of the municipality. So I welcome everybody and each one of you, and I'm sure, I hope that we have a very interesting conversation as always. We thought that this meeting was appropriate because of the difficult times that we are all facing, not only in Cyprus, but all over the world. These are times that everybody is being tested. We are all being tested, both as individuals and as institutions, and as societies in general. And this is the first time in many, many years that the whole world feels so together. We are in the whole world. Everybody is in this difficult situation. I think it goes without saying that what is required from us is absolute seriousness, absolute discipline, and we have to show in an absolute degree our responsibility as individuals and as societies to face this enemy, which is so invisible and so insidious at the same time. Let me tell you a few things about what the municipality did from the beginning. From the beginning of the crisis, our municipality has fully aligned itself with the decisions, the recommendations, and the decrees of the competent ministries. And I'm referring to the ministries of health, the ministries of interior, the ministries of justice, and the government in general. At the same time, we try to stay one step ahead of the measures taken by the government. First of all, we put the entire municipal machine to work under emergency conditions. The city council operates as a crisis management team, and we have created, I'm sure you know, because all these are, you can find all these notifications and decisions in our internet page, in our web page. We have set up an emergency center of the municipality manned by municipal officials, social workers, psychologists who answer at the telephone 77777788. This 8-number telephone, 6 7s and 2 8s, it's a 24-hour telephone number which answers to calls concerning not only the pandemic but everything else. The purpose of this emergency center was and is to help vulnerable groups of our citizens who don't have other means of helping themselves in a variety of problems which arise from these conditions that we are facing, whether they need advice support, whether they need psychological support, whether they need essentials of their everyday life, be it medicine, groceries, even food. And we have delivery volunteers who can take and deliver either drugs or groceries, or even a plate of hot food. At the same time, the municipality has taken a number of measures, and we continue to take more measures and expand these measures and strengthen these measures as we learn from our experiences and, of course, from experiences of other countries and other municipalities. The measures, of course, aim to exclude the possibility of overcrowding people contact between people, with the aim to break the chain of the spread of the virus. Among these measures are, first of all, closing the municipalities' offices for the public. So anybody who wants to have any business with the municipality will have to do it by telephone or online. We have also closed for the public the municipal garden, the multifunctional seaside park, the Molos area, the Olympic coast, and any other public meeting places such as parks, playgrounds, open-air sport facilities, squares, picnic areas, beaches, like I said, marinas. All these are closed to the public. We have announced that all these are closed to the public in an effort to minimize the contact between people. All cultural sites are closed. All kindergartens or public and municipal kindergartens are closed. Any form of an open market or a bazaar or any form of street vending is also strictly prohibited, and it is banned. We have also banned the Eastern bonfire tradition, the Lambrajat tradition. You may know that, and we have taken the responsibility to move away all the wood and the furniture that it has been gathered by the kids in order to light them up during Easter. The public parking area, the public areas along the seaside street are also closed during weekends and during holidays. In addition to that, the municipality is disinfecting periodically all municipal premises and all public spaces, squares, playgrounds, bus stops, waste bins, even roads, which are disinfected through the sweep machines of the municipality, which use, instead of water, they use a special disinfectant. And of course, since the municipality cannot get in touch since the people cannot get in touch with the municipality, we have postponed all due days for payments of, let's say, fees or taxes to the municipality, and we have even waived the 50% charge on the fines following a 15-day payment deadline. In addition to that, there are some other, let's say, measures that we have taken targeted to, for example, we have taken measures in order to accommodate for the animals, for the stray animals, especially the cats, who now that the restaurants are closed, are remaining without food, and we are in danger to see a number of these animals, dying in the streets because of hunger and thirst. So the municipality will create a number of feeding points for these poor animals, as long as this period of curfew is underway. In conclusion, I would like to tell you that the municipality will insist on the strictest of measures, because we think that the conditions warrant it, and at the same time we try to keep the morale and the good spirit of the people high, by talking to them like we do now, or by having the patigio streamlining special performances of artists, of Limassolian artists, just for the people to hear. And the message that I would like to send you is that we are in this fight together. We have to beat the virus, and we will beat the virus if we stick together, if we stay at home. Those of us who should, they should. Of course, we have to be at the municipality, but that's our job. And we expect that all citizens should act in a socially responsible manner. And of course, please check our municipality's website and social media for any updates of the measures and any instructions the municipality may issue. So keep up the spirit, keep up the flag high, and I'm ready to, we are ready to listen to your suggestions and your remarks and your questions and whatever. Thank you, Natalia. You have the microphone is on you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for this introduction. You said about all the measures, and it was interesting and useful. And we start having questions. So, dear friends, if you have more questions, please type them for the time being. Mr. Mayor, I would like to read for you the first question we received while you were talking about the businesses that are closed. And the question is, why developers work today? And also the part of the question is about noise of the work. Everyone must stay at home now, and there is no option to avoid or reduce this noise. People work at home now. Children study at home now. So Andrei, who wrote this question, he's asking first, whether there is a restriction for developers to work. Second, can the noise be reduced so the school children can study and people who work from home can work, not hearing this noisy developing sites?
As you know, there are restrictions concerning which business could work and which business cannot work. Basically, only businesses that have to do with the absolute necessary commodities like food, like drugs, gasoline, and stuff like that. Even public works are halted. All public works are stopped, except those for which the Minister of Communications and Works will give an exemption. For example, if we have an isolated, let's say, project like the factory of the sewage treatment, the new factory which is under construction, that could probably be exempted from this ban. Now,
and most probably, sorry, Mr. Mayor, to interrupt you, most probably this construction should be useful for the community, like the example you gave. So Absolutely. It shouldn't be a private building of a villa. It should be something that community needs.
Absolutely. All should be stopped. And those who are not stopped, of course, they have to keep the measures and the regulations concerning the distances between people who work together, etc., etc.
Could you give an advice what to do in case that a developer works day and night or early morning till late next to somebody's house?
You should give a call to the police or give a call to the municipality to the number I told you before, 77777788. But the police is responsible for keeping the order. And of course, if we get a phone call, we should pass it to the police. Or if it's something which is under our responsibility, such as noise, for example, we will send our people to take care of the noise level, which is not appropriate. Now, as far as keeping conditions that would help other people to work at home, this is what I meant by saying social responsibility. Everybody should show how responsible they are. If you stay at home and your neighbors are noisy, and especially at hours, after hours, please give a call to the police or give us a call, and we'll try and put this socially unresponsible people of our community under their responsibilities, in front of their responsibilities.
All right.
Okay?
Thank you. We have another question, and actually two questions that are concern the supermarkets. So now the supermarkets and small kiosks are open, but the other shops are closed. And a lady is writing a question to us: can, for example, be advised to the shops which sell paints? Or many people now painting because they have nothing to do, or they need pencils, or they need paper, and so on. Can these goods be sold in the supermarkets? Can be a municipality, somebody who would advise to the small shop owners to agree to supermarket owners that some goods that are not available now, but useful to the community to survive this crisis with their children, to play, to draw, to paint, to be sold in the supermarkets?
That's a very good question. I am aware that the ministries are considering putting some more merchandise categories in the grocery shops, such as newspapers, for example. I will pass this suggestion that they should include in the additional merchandise to be sold in grocery shops. To include also these children's
paper for drawing, paper for painting, the paints themselves, you know, something for creativity. Because the most difficult for parents now is to keep children at home 24/7. You know, they didn't get used to this. Not parents, not children. It's almost impossible.
I will pass to the ministries the suggestion that they should include some, you know, children's games and stuff that only children's shops
and bookstores, and bookstores and the shops for stationery. Another question is also connected to the supermarkets. One of the people who are watching us now sharing the experience in Alpha Mega shopping on the 31st of March. The cashier that was serving this person was without mask, without gloves, and she was sneezing on the food. So how shopping centers should be controlled, by whom, and where to call if somebody sees that it's obvious break of rules? Mr. Mayor, yes, you are. Can you you unmute? I will unmute you. Hold on, because somehow you became muted. Can you check on your screen, Mr. Mayor? Can you unmute yourself? If okay, just give me seconds. I'm trying to unmute myself. Unmute.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Works.
Again, if you go to a grocery shop, we have with us Mr. Haralambidis, who is Neophytos. It says Neophytos on his screen.
Okay, I will find.
The leader of the VICO group, and Mr. Dimitris Seodis also, who is the man in charge of the health services of the municipality.
Okay.
Again,
one of them is connected.
I would like to urge you, when you go to an establishment, be it I hear my voice.
Yes, it's because I connected one of them. That will happen. We hear the voice of Mr. Neophytos, so I will have to disconnect him. Sorry, Neophytos.
Mr. Haralambidis must be muted. Should be
muted.
Yes,
okay, I mute him. Okay, Mr. Good. Mayor, you and me only, we are talking.
Okay, I urge you, whenever you see this phenomena, a seller without gloves, or somebody behaving in an improper way, please give us a call or call the police and refer these cases to us. We cannot be too careful. We have to be very strict, and we will be very strict. We shouldn't let anybody who is irresponsible to contaminate or to unbreak or to stop the breaking of the chain that we are all trying so very hard to do. So please, when you notice this cases, refer them to us or to the police. Please use the phone call, the emergency calling number, as I told you before.
All right. Another question also on the subject of supermarkets, but this time about delivery. It seems that some supermarkets were not ready for to provide delivery service. And in the question, what I can see here, it's referred to the supermarket cy.com.cy. That was an electronic service even before the crisis. They made delivery, but now if you try to have food from them, they will say to you next week or in a few days, because they cannot have this workload. Do you help somehow the supermarkets to become more modern, to provide delivery services in a speedy way, that you can call them today and at least tomorrow to get your order?
No, I'm afraid this is not under within our let's say responsibility. This is not something we can do with the supermarkets to facilitate them in any way in order to be able to make deliveries. What do we do? But this is only for vulnerable people, for people who are aged, people who don't have anybody else, who don't have any care from anybody else. And if somebody doesn't provide them with the necessary of life, they would be in danger. This our emergency center does, but we are not in the business of delivering, let's say, groceries for a normal family who stays at home. So if your grocery of some groceries don't deliver, I'm sure that there are some that will deliver. The market always finds ways to serve the community, I'm sure.
We hope that it will be found as soon as possible. And the next question we have is more general. I will read it for you. What is your realistic, not optimistic, not pessimistic, but realistic projection on the economic situation of Cyprus after the lockdown is over? Which effects do you expect? Inflation, increase of unemployment, issues in the banking sector. So Maxim, who wrote this question, wants to know your opinion on what to expect after the lockdown is over.
I would be very superficial if I would say now what I can foresee to be the economic effect of this crisis. Surely there will be a severe economic blow to all economies worldwide. What I can say about Cyprus is that Cyprus, we have, if I may say, an advantage. We have been through such crises only recently. 2013, it was a major crisis in Cyprus, and as you may know very well, we all tried very hard to get out of the crisis, and we, in a very, let's say, high percentage, we have managed to do that. So we know what an economic crisis is, and I'm sure that the government and the people and the businesses all together, we shall be able to overcome this crisis as well. We only hope and pray that it won't last for long, so that the consequences are in a way minimized.
Mm-hmm. Another question is also to forecast. We know that we cannot forecast, but I will read it. When do you expect the borders to be open again? And is there any chance for the touristic season this summer, in your opinion? Or we should be able not to, we should be ready not to be able to receive tourists at all? And another part of this question, is there a maximum period of time when Cyprus can afford to keep the borders closed? It's also important just to know when we can fly to our families and when they can fly in. So your best case and worst case scenario, your own opinion.
Listen, let me put it in this way. We are trying and we are preparing for the worst case scenario. And at the same time, on an opposite side, on an opposite point of view, we are hoping and expecting the best scenario. For example, I will tell you a small example. We are preparing to render the same services this year, this summer, for preventing the pollution of the sea. We are not saying that we will not do anything because we foresee that
Tatiana Magnitskaya, you're sharing the screen. Please switch it off. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
So
Okay.
we are being prepared with the contracts and the preparations and the boats and everything, that the swimming season and the tourist season will begin sometime in June. So we are ready for that. We are hoping that everything will be as soon as possible back to normal again. But of course, if it's not, then we'll see how we can deal with the situation when it arises.
Mhm, mhm. All right. There are a few questions regarding the dogs. It's well known already that the government gave permission to dog owners to walk with the dogs just around the house. But is there any official permission? So they want to be sure that if they take the dog out, they're not going to be fined.
The way to do it is to send an SMS, send a text to 82, what's the number?
89, I think. I will tell you now in a few seconds. But it was an announcement that it's 8998, 8998. But it was an announcement that
998.
Yeah, that SMS can be sent only one time a day. But for the dog owners, they can walk their dogs as many times as needed, 2-3 times without sending SMS. So people are a little bit confused. Iofitos is showing that yes, it's possible. He's a lawyer as well, as far as I remember.
Somebody knows the exact answer to this. I have to confess that I am not, although I am a dog owner, but my wife takes the dog for a walk. I should have to ask my wife how she does it. If somebody is familiar with the regulations, please let us.
Neophytos, you are on mute.
Neophytos Harabidis, who's a lawyer, can inform us. Please, Neophytos.
It's correct what Natalia says. It has not been inserted in the orders issued by the ministries. However, it has been clarified publicly that without the need of sending any SMS, you can do the needs for the pets. So, I mean, the question is whether, even though the government has publicly stated that they're not going to fine anyone for taking the dogs, the pets, around for the needs. If they're going to find someone after that, I think that's too much for them to do so. Given the public clarification of the matter, I mean, don't over do it.
So don't work too far from your house. Yes, because some people they say next to my house there is no place to walk the dog. I need to go at least few meters away, and they're afraid to go there.
I mean, the implementation of the orders is not specific in several matters where you need to use your logic and act reasonably. If someone acts reasonably around the orders that have been issued, I do not expect that a police officer will go ahead and find them. So, I mean, use reason and have in mind the purpose.
Mr. Mayor, and we will stay also with Mr. Neophytos. Maybe he can help us as well, because it's a kind of legal issue. So we can go out only one time a day, and this everyone knows, one SMS a day. And we have a question from one of the people who are listening to us now. What if the person needs to train herself? She needs to have physical exercises. That is important to her. She cannot live without this. And every morning she walks for 5 kilometers alone, not touching anyone, not talking to anyone, and she can send an SMS. But what if she needs to go to a shop the same day? So she cannot proceed with her physical exercises, with her trainings during the quarantine time. That's correct?
He's smoking, yes, that's correct.
That's correct. So one time a day is allowed to go out, and she needs to choose whether this is for training, or this is for shopping, or elsewhere. The only exception is, I know it because I read the news, if you need to go to a doctor. So you can go to your supermarket and an extra time. If you need to visit the doctor, you go to the doctor. So it will be the second time a day, correct? Yeah. All right.
Mr.
So,
Lambert wants to say something.
yes, let me find him and connect.
How many people are we on the teleconference, Natalia? I think
About 50.
that's it.
That's why it takes me some time to find it.
We are about 60 people. No, we are
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
that. We are more.
So I'm trying to find again Mr. Neophytus because I lost him in this
We are
long
about 60 or
list.
70
Sorry
people.
for this delay. Yes, I found. Yes,
So we're
Neophytus.
generally working under unusual circumstances. So I would urge everyone to follow the minister of health tweeting. He clarified the matter, and it's correct what you said, Natalia. After the issuing of the order, which banned the possibility of having of using the SMS twice, he clarified the matter as far as the exceptions are concerned. So, I mean, definitely this exception you said is not included. If you use it for personal exercise, you cannot at the same time go to the shops for shopping, for necessary things for shopping. You can go to the pharmacy, you can go to the doctor, you can go to assist someone in need, but not going to the groceries. If what I would suggest, if someone, I mean, is an athlete or for health reasons needs to exercise every day, which would be an exception to the exception, try calling the numbers that they have given for the exception matters and get an approval before going out. I would suggest that. Again, I haven't used this option, so it's just a suggestion, not an advice.
Mr. Mayor, I know that the next question is not to you, but maybe you know the answer. At the beginning of the lockdown, it was announced that GC won't be increased as it was planned before. We are staying home from the 13th of March. Why GC was increased in March and decreased back, if you know the answer?
Why the what? What was decreased?
GC, the medical contribution to the state medical fund. Yes. Yes, they said that first they are not going to increase it, and then they decided to increase and then decrease. So can you a little bit comment on this?
I think they have imposed a decrease on the, it was expected that from the 1st of March, it will be doubled, and they have not imposed the increase. I don't know whether they increased and then decreased.
They announced that in March it will be imposed. In April it will be decreased again. So there is a confusion there, but obviously it's not a question of municipality.
Well, this is a matter of the central government, but I'm under the impression that the increase which was supposed to be levied from the 1st of March has not been levied.
But, all right. Okay, so we shall see how it is. Now I will allow to some of our readers to ask questions, and please switch on your video if you want to ask a question. So connect your video recording, and the first question that will be asked by one of us will be from Sabina. Sabina, I will find you now in my list, and I will connect your sound. Be ready. Give me some time. Yes, I found. Sabina, can you say something?
Yes, I think my sound.
All right. The question from Sabina.
Hello, Sabina.
Hello, Mr. Mayor, everyone. So, yeah, I'd like to go back to the issue of pet needs. More precisely, the stray animals such as cats. I was very happy to hear that you mentioned the municipality will arrange feeding points. And the first part of the question will be, how can we find out more detailed information about this so we know which areas are covered? Then, if you know, maybe will other municipalities do the same? Because we as volunteers are very concerned, like which areas are covered and which are not. And we took responsibility for certain colonies. And the final part of my question is, how do we legally go out to feed the colonies? Because obviously they need to be fed at least once a day. which allows us no other option to go out for our personal needs. So that is like practically impossible to do two things at once. So we don't understand who to address. Organizations do not answer any phones. No one answers. So we're kind of in a situation without no information and risking to be fined or leave the animals without food.
Yes, Sabina, your first question is where
The information.
information. I will, with the permission of Mr. Dimitris Theodis, I will give you his mobile number. He's the man in charge of this project. Please call him and he will give you all the details about the feeding points and any other pertinent information. His mobile phone is 99460260. Now, as far as other municipalities are concerned, we have an ongoing communication with the rest of the mayors of the greater Limassol area, and any measure that we take, we tell the other mayors, and they as well do the same by informing us about their measures. So I'm sure that the mayors of other, let's say, municipalities around Limassol will probably do the same. Now, as far as making yourself legal in order to get out and feed the stray animals, I don't think that this is within the region, but there is, I think, a category on that text that you can see, which says for other purpose. Why don't you try other purpose?
Yes, that is number 8, and it was possible before they restricted it to once a day, and now we don't know what to do because once a day is something that we need, to go buy food.
This is something that we will pass to the ministry, and I'm sure they will try and find something.
So Mr. Mayor, I would like. Yes.
That makes the need of the municipality stepping in and feeding these animals even greater.
I wanted to share with you one suggestion. I know how it works with volunteers in dog shelters. For example, my family is volunteering now during the quarantine because in the dog shelter there is no one to walk with dogs. So we got from this dog shelter a paper, a certificate that we can come every day and to feed and walk these dogs. Maybe some volunteers, if they are organized volunteers with Mr. Dimitris Theodis, they can also have a permission from municipality to go at least once a day and to feed these cats.
That is something we can certainly look into. Dimitris will talk to you later after the teleconference and see how we can help the volunteers, help us in feeding these poor animals. Maybe by enabling them to, go out and feed them. We'll see what you can do. We'll think it over. That's a good suggestion. We'll see what you can do. We'll see what you can do.
All right. So I will disconnect the microphone of Sabina now. And if any one of us, of those who watch this video, want to ask a question, please write to me or raise the hand so I will see the hands. And meanwhile, okay. Yes, Natalia Pittman, I will connect you now. Okay, let me, I'm also learning how to use this. Yes, found. Natalia, I'm trying to connect. I cannot to connect your audio. I don't see it. You can connect it yourself, Natalia. Meanwhile, Oleg Kalinin. I'm unmuting yourself. Oleg, can you say something? Oleg?
Yeah, first of all, good morning, everybody. Mr. Nikolaidis, Oleg Kalinin, happy to see you on the screen. Many thanks. I think it's very, very useful conference. I think we will have chance to repeat it. Very useful. I think it's very important nowadays. My question is actually listed, 2 of my questions. One is maybe not directly to you, but you may rise with the ministry. This is about, I believe eventually on some stage we will continue to return our students from London, from Athens. And what I know about quarantine procedure, we have much better conditions now in good hotel, people in one room, because initially it was not so good. but the actual flight, and can we do anything like not full flights, but keep social distance, like only 50% of the passengers? Is it possible to do such a thing? Huh? That's one of my questions, if you can pass it further to ministry for safe return of the people. And another my question, in pharmacy where we're going, often the people say, they claim that nobody tested them for virus. Because they said they consider that shopping center people being tested, but in pharmacy they having the same danger. They say nobody tests them, nobody assess their condition. So can we do something, or maybe we have not enough information, or something already being in pipeline for testing condition of. That's my question. Thanks a lot. Don't want to take too much time. Thank you.
Thank
We
you.
will certainly pass these questions to the proper authorities as far as the students and the charter flights and the special conditions for them coming back. Now, as far as the testing for virus, people who work in pharmacists, that's your question, I guess. As far as I know, there isn't a plan to test in general, let's say, some categories of the population. But this is something I think the state should think about. Some people who are, let's say, instrumental in dealing with people, pharmacists, markets, food markets, stuff like that, maybe they should think about making sure that these people are healthy enough, because they get in touch with a lot of people. So I will certainly pass the information to the proper authorities, Mr.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you, Alec. Disconnect your sound, and I will unmute Tatiana Magnitskaya. She has a new question. Tatiana, you can talk.
Yes, hello, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Natalia, for this opportunity. I have practical question about rent. Now people are losing job, and a lot of companies cannot use their business offices. Yes, what do you know? Do government plan to make something with this situation to make price down for rent? Or
what they have done so far, of course, they haven't come with a decision about, in a way, let's say, interfering on the level of the rent. But what the government has done, they have stopped any procedure of eviction for non-payment of the rent for the next, I think it's 9 months. So if somebody doesn't pay his or her rent, they should not be afraid that they will be evicted. But as far as the level of the rent, I don't think that the government could do a lot of things, right now, because it's a free market. What they could do, they could come and let's say reimburse a business who pays rent in some way. I think it's 3 months. No, Fide, 3 months. The eviction 2 months.
Mm-hmm. 2 months. Yes. Let me connect Mr. Neophytos for his comment. Maybe he can add something. Mr. Neophytos, I'm unmuting you. Yeah.
End of May. No evictions by the end of May, if I'm not mistaken. But that is not payment of any rents. Okay.
Okay. So the question, there is another question which I'm reading right now. It's also concerning the payments. People are afraid that, okay, now there is a delay of payment. Not every owner is ready to wait for the rent. And then the debt will be so big that people will not be able to pay. And the question is also about the bills for electricity, the bills for water, and so on. So the debt is growing. That's what makes people scary.
This is a major problem. Of course, you know that the Electricity Authority of Cyprus has lowered their billing prices to about 10%. And I'm sure that we'll see many companies in one way or the other pass measures that would facilitate the people to overcome the crisis. But this is a problem, of course. These are the problems that this crisis will bring to us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just 1 second, Mr. Mayor. Something is, yeah, I'm trying to unmute something happened and I mute you. Just 1 second. Yes, unmuting. Yeah, now.
These matters, which are very serious matters, will be discussed both at the executive level, I mean, at the level of the government, at the level of the parliament, and of course, as far as the municipality is concerned, we will try and do whatever is possible to lighten the burden of people concerning fees and taxes, keeping in mind, of course, that the municipality will also be struck economically, and we don't want a municipality which will be weak. We want a municipality which will be strong to continue serving the people and let's say promoting the works and the projects that will have to be done in order to serve the people.
Okay, dear friends, I'm ready to accept the last question. So if anyone wants to ask the question himself or herself, please raise the hand or type the message for me. Meanwhile, I want to ask another question we have. It's regarding cleaning of Limassol and also about this plastic waste that we have here. Now is a perfect opportunity when streets are empty for municipal trucks to collect everything. Could you a little bit expand on this? What you as municipality will do to use this quarantine time for the best of the community?
This is a very proper suggestion. Although, of course, the main force of the municipality personnel is guided towards the facing of this pandemic, we try to take advantage of this period during which the streets are empty to try and clean them as much as possible, or draw the lines, the traffic signals. Also, the theme with the plastic is something which is of great concern to us. Your proposition is correct, and we try and take advantage of this period in order to do any jobs that we can do, given the fact that the streets are open.
All right. Okay, Mr. Mayor, we have to conclude this meeting. I would like to thank you for being so open with us to answer the questions which are even not dealt with municipality, but it's of concern of our citizens. And what do you want to say in conclusion of our almost 1 hour conversation?
I would like to say that, of course, we haven't been able to cover all the questions and the matters that one could discuss in such a teleconference. But please, if you have any suggestions, I know that based on my experience from the past, you have excellent suggestions and ideas. Please pass them on to us. Use our social media, use our webpage, and send us a message or give us a call. Give us a call. I'm sure that we will all have something to be benefited from a good suggestion.
And I would like also, having this said, I would like to ask your permission if someone has a question and they did not raise it now, or they didn't type it, they didn't ask, they can send it to me in written and I can forward it to the municipality so you can answer those questions which were not voiced out during this conversation.
By all means, I would be very much obliged if you, let's say, take the responsibility of gathering all the questions and the suggestions together and pass them over to us. And in conclusion, as a final remark, I would like to thank you very much once again. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I know that these are difficult situations. We all are trying to do our best. I'm sure you do the same. And doing our best may mean just staying at home. This is, I think, a major action that everybody should do. Rest assured that at the municipality level and also at the state level, at the central government level, everybody realizes the severity of the situation, and we shall all try as a society, as institutions, to overpass this crisis. And I'm positive, I'm optimistic that we shall overcome. So please stay healthy and stay at home.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.